Hello everybody, and today we shall understand the iris dataset, iris species. And before we just load the data, let me just tell you that this is the iris, actually the class which is having three species, Setosa, versicolor and virginica. And we will be seeing the dimensions of these three species in the dataset. This is a very classic machine learning example, multi-label classification example wherein whenever a new species come no, of iris, you have to classify it either in these three species. It could be either Setosa or versicolor or virginica. So we will classify them according to their dimensions, the petal length, and how do they look actually. So we will make our machines understand the petal length, petal width, the sepal length, and the sepal width. This is the sepal, and these are the petals. So you can see that all the petals of the same species iris are different, right? So for Setosa, you've got small petals. For versicolor, you've got long petals. And for virginica, again, it is a different petal altogether. So there's certain thing which would make the characteristics of this iris species more prominent, and which will help us to understand that okay, this is how we can understand that how do they differ from each other. So let us understand this thing. And since this is a preloaded data, so what I do is I would simply upload this data, or I'll store this in a df call object, and I will call this iris. Okay, and you have to also import the library ggplot2. Okay, and let us just load this iris data set, and let's check the first six. By default it gives first six values here. So we got, this is a data, this is how it looks: sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and species. Okay, if you want to check the last six species, so what you can do, you can simply write here tail and then df, right? And this is how, like, we've got 150 observations. So check the dimensions of your data. This is a simple exploration that we are doing, and we have done it so many times. So this is like 150 rows and 5 columns. So the theme of this or today's video is making box plots with the ggplot2, and we will do it in R. How do you really plot box plot, and we will understand what does this really mean. So before that, I will simply first of all make an object. Let's just plot first, and then you will understand. Okay, so I make up an object called box, wherein I will store this figure. So I'll take this data, that is the first layer, which is iris. Okay, my data could be df also. I can take df, or I can take iris, whatever. It take iris also because that is for default. I just want to increase the size of this, so I'll just so that it becomes easier for you to see. So I take the first plot, that is df, and then I set the aesthetics, which is the second layer. I have dealt this things in detail in the course also, and also in previous tutorials, which you can find in the R playlist, and also it is been mentioned in the description box. So I'll keep on jumping back to this course, and we'll be doing a little bit talks here and there so that your attention is there. Okay, so now what I do is I will simply plot this, and on y-axis I have taken petal width. Let's see the outliers in this. And what I do is I would now set what type of geometry I want. So I want a box plot, so I will set the geometry as box plot. And what do I want inside? I would simply write here purple. Okay, because just you can set any color. Okay, so this is what you get. So this is quite a large or huge you can see figure. So what I do is I would simply call this library and REPR, and this just makes your plot size really small when you will use this option. I have dealt this in previous tutorials. You can always check that resize your plot in R tutorial. So now what you do is you get something manageable figure. And now let us understand this box plot. So this is a box plot, and this line, when you see, this is a median line, and this is the third quartile, this is the first quartile, and what you see here are the whiskers. Alright, but we have not got any outliers here. I will show you one plot which will have outliers. So let me show you another plot which will have outliers. And this iris dataset is good, very good for practice. So you can always refer to this. I'm just changing the variable. I'm just changing this to sepal width to show you the outliers. And let me change the color also. Let me take pink. Okay. So now you can see these dots which are outside this spread of your data. These are the outliers. Now this box plot I will explain you with the help of the figures, okay, that is the numbers, so that things become more clear. Now this summary gives me the statistical information or the statistical I would say details of my entire data set. So this is summary, and I see I have taken here sepal width and petal width. So let us understand sepal width and petal width first. So the sepal width, as you can see, the minimum is 2, and you can see the minimum here it's 2, okay, and this is an outlier, okay, as you can see. And then the first quartile is starting from 2.8. So the first quartile is starting from 2.8. This marks the first quartile, the box. Another quartile is third quartile, that is 3.30, and you can see these outer boundaries forms the first and the third quartile. So these outer boundaries is first quartile and this is third quartile, and we can find the figure from your summary data, right? Okay, the median is 3, so you can see the median is here 3, and now the maximum is 4.4. So when you go to 4.4, you find that this is an outlier, right? Okay. So the median, the minimum and the maximum values in this data of sepal width are outliers. But from this only you can never infer which is the outlier and which is the spread of the data. So that is why it is always said that you should always visualize your data so that you can understand that sepal width has outliers. By seeing this data in the first glance, I could never make out that this outlier, that there could be outlier in this data or in these values of sepal width. I thought there would be outliers in sepal length because seeing these values, but you will be surprised when I will plot this sepal length that it is not having much outliers. Okay, so never trust these statistical figures. Along with this, always plot your figures. Okay, so it shows and reveals more information than ever. Now again, now petal width, as you can see, the minimum and the maximum. Minimum is 0.1, which you see here 0.1. The maximum, that is the outer boundary, is 1.8 or something. Yes, and the median is 1.3, as you can see here. Median is 1.3, and these are the whiskers, that means the spread of the data, and we see there are no outliers. So the minimum is 0.1, and here you can see that, and the maximum is 2.5. So the maximum is 2.5, and there are no outliers. So this also tells me the spread of the data, and this also tells me the range and outliers. So box plot are really very important when you want to study your outliers in the data set. Now there's another way to plot your box plot, and the most common way which we are seeing now is, okay, I will show you the themes also to make it more interesting. So what we do is I will simply copy this. Okay, let me take this, and now I will be just copy pasting it to make it more to summarize this. So what I do is I will simply write here box plus box plot. Now I want to show you something like I will fill here orange, okay, and I will take here species so that we understand how does it work, and I will use the aesthetics. Okay, the aesthetics would be on x-axis. I will use here species. So let's see how it gives me the data set. So this is how it has plotted. It has given me the Setosa versicolor and Virginica, the 3 species of iris, and their sepal width, right? And because this was the already box, that object we have created, and I think this one, this is giving me sepal width, so it is using this box, okay, and the recent one. So now this is using the sepal width, this one, and we're getting the box plot, and we see that Setosa and Virginica have outliers rather than versicolor. So it is very easy to understand versicolor rather than the Setosa or Virginica. So okay, That means the dimensions are really good of versicolor, as you can see. Yeah. Okay. So this could mislead us, Setosa and Virginica. All right. So now the confusion has been sorted a little. That we have to be a little more cautious with dealing with different species now. And now what I do is I will show you one more thing, one more difference here. We will just copy this and we will paste this here. The fill parameter has is being treated differently in different layers. So what I do is I will just simply use this and I will not use fill here. Rather, I will delete this and I will use fill here. Okay, aesthetics, and I will use fill equals to species. So you see here that fill in aesthetics is being treated differently as compared to fill in my original plot. Okay, this is the data and I'm giving parameters, passing it separately from aesthetics. Within aesthetics, the species are being filled inside. So it understands that, okay, within the species you have to go and fill the colors. Okay, so this becomes more meaningful and more insightful. Now let me show you something called facets here, so that we get of various species together and we need not plot each individual plots for all these things. So what I do is I will simply make the facets here. So let me write here box and okay, let's do something genome, that means the geometry, and I will write here box plot. Do it with me so that things become more easier to understand. So I will use the aesthetics and this I will fill what the species. This is the same code as above, but the practice is good, necessary. So I will add another layer and that is called the facet layer. This facet wrap actually will help me to wrap my data and form a grid, the grid pattern. So I will use the tiddle operation here and this will really help me to plot this species of Setosa, versicolor and virginica in different in their respective facets. Okay, so this is how you get the sepal width, and we can easily find out. So there's a difference in this plot and in this plot. When we use the facet wrap and when the plot is without facet, there's a considerable difference. Okay, here we can see it in just one grid, but here we've got different grids or separate grids for each species, which give it more meaning. All right, with its dimension. Okay, you can do the spacing when you can readjust the size of the plot, and that is again being dealt in the previous tutorial. So please go ahead and watch it. And now what I do is I will show you one interesting feature here, that is theme. Now coming to the last layer of ggplot, and we've seen here 3 layers of ggplot, actually 4: data, aesthetics, facet, and now we will go to our theme layer. So what I do is I will simply copy this. Best thing is to copy and paste, right? Now what I do is I will change a few things and I will use the labels here. I will make my plot a little good. I will add title here, and in this title I will add here, okay, let me give the title as iris species outlier detection. Outliers detection, yeah. And then I will again add a layer here and let the theme, now we will work with different themes here. I will use the classic theme black and white. Let's see. So this is what my black and white theme looks like, and I have used this labels, good labels, right? So this becomes more interactive. Now again, another thing which I want to show you is we can experiment with different themes also, and I will just do it quickly for you. This is just sepal width. Now I want to see it with for different species. So what I do is this was for sepal width. Now what I do, I would simply um, use it for different things. So I would prefer ggplot, and let me take here petal length. So I will be plotting with all the variables that we have, and let's get the grid for all. So I will paste this ggplot aesthetics, and I want your petal width, and this is how another way wherein you can use the code, and then you can just define this geometry and everything. So instead of using the object box here, because box was having a sepal width, I just redefined this and I have not created an object for it. I have just created here like ggplot, and I have defined the data and the aesthetics here. Now what I'll do is I will let's see this plot. Okay, so instead of theme this thing, I would use another theme, and that would be minimal, right? And let's see what happens. So this is sepal width, the previous plot, and beside this we've got petal width, and I think the theme is not minimal. Yeah, we got the minimal theme because these boundaries are not coming here. So this is a minimal theme, okay, minimalistic theme, right? So there are various themes. You can always search out with theme and shift and tab on your keyboard simultaneously, and you will get these themes. What theme you can use? So we can use this classic theme. You can use minimal, test, void. This is null theme, light, dark, and so on. So let's just use more themes here. I will just copy this. I hope you're getting that I am just plotting all these outliers for each variable. So this was about petal length, petal width, and sepal width has been done. So now I will take petal length, and here I can change the theme to, like, suppose let's take test. Okay, what is this test? And again, let us just take here sepal length. Okay, I'll just change this y-axis, that's all, and we are done with it. We have set everything. The box plot, I want the species to be filled here. I will use the facet trap, and in facet trap I'm wrapping the species, and then what I will do is I will use the theme as test, and another theme I will use now is dark. Okay, yeah, so let's just run this. So this is the first thing that we have seen. This is the second theme, minimal theme. The third theme is test. So as you can see, the grids are gone, and we are getting the petal length here. And we see that in petal length also we've got outliers. Can you see in versicolor and setosa again we are having outliers, but in virginica we are not having outliers. The same holds true for petal width also. Only setosa has outliers, right? Even here for sepal width also we've got setosa and virginica having outliers. So this is how you can infer, and this is the dark theme. Looks quite good, right? And we find that in sepal length we've got outliers in virginica. So a pleasant way to, using facets and theme to show your outliers of the iris dataset. Since iris dataset is very classic, and it is not having much outliers, as to say, because it is a very balanced dataset, very less outliers. But when you're experimenting it with different data sets which are unbalanced, so you will find various outliers, and you can also check these outliers with the help of Weiland plot also. It's a mix of box plot and density plots. So for this tutorial, I think box plot has been covered, and please go ahead with more tutorials which are there in the R list, and it will also be provided in the description box. And thanks for watching.